Okay, so good evening, class. So we are now with your syllabus or the discussion of your syllabus. Okay, so it is very hard for me to record. I think the problem is with connection with the internet. Okay, or either with my laptop. Okay, so your course syllabus, which is entitled as Human Anatomy and Physiology. So the course code of your subject is BMed 10, so which is the intro or the pre-medical course. So ang PS Psychology naman talaga is a pre-med course. Okay? So how about when you say the course description of this module, it's stated here that the structure and function of the human body. So came from the title of the course title, it says here that it is about the human anatomy and physiology. So when you say anatomy, it is about the structure. And then when you say physiology, it is about the function. So it is about the structure and function of the human body. Okay, so like for example, sample your liver. So the structure of your liver made up of two lobes, so the right and the left lobe. So parang ganun siya ng inyong liver, that is what you call the structures. But when you say function, it is about how important is the liver inside the human body. Okay, this is how the body system refers to one another because we have 11 organ systems inside our body. Okay, so they go hand in hand. So sabihin na, for example, the brain, diba? During the attacks of stress, okay, if you notice, your heart beats fast. So that is the immediate response of our body through the release of your epinephrine and norepinephrine. So that is how they go hand in hand. But during the relaxation process, di ba, pag nakita mo yung crush mo, so ano yung reaction? Kakabog ang dibdib mo. Okay, then you have, di ba yung the ego, and then the super ego? Di ba, you have to control it. The reality about the ego is the one that controls. So the one, it controls your urge. Diba? So pag nakokontrol na natin ang sarili natin and we are doing relaxation, diba, hinga ng malalim. Well, have you noticed that your heart beats slow? That is how your body system inside our body go hand in hand. Okay? Adaptation, so bilang isang living organism, isa sa mga characteristics natin is to adapt. Okay, so like for example, during warm season, di ba, ano bang ginagawa natin to adapt that warm? Or if there is a problem inside our body, okay, nag-a-adjust yung katawan natin. Because that is one of the characteristics of a living organism. Homeostasis. So your homeostasis ay under na inyong introduction to human anatomy and physiology. So when you say homeostasis is the equilibrium of your body. Diba? If there is a presence of infection, diba? During the attacks of infection, what is the reaction of your body? Your lymphatic system, or the systems that under the immunity of the body, it increases the white blood cells. So, hindi ko pwedeng explain yan dahil yun ay under yung process ng immune systems. Okay? So the prerequisites of this ay zool 1. So yun a reason kung bakit tinuruan ko kayo about the zoology. If you notice, para siyang zool nyo noon. But the difference is that the zool is animals. And then sa human, syempre sa human naman siya. Okay, so in your first week, ito yung first week natin class. So this is our introduction or the course introduction or the course orientation. So ito yung orientation natin. So kung papansinin nyo, meron akong nilagay na reflection paper. Okay, hindi ako magpapagawa ng reflection paper. Alam ko kasi ang mga kasunod na lesson ay mahihirap. Okay, so hayaan ko na muna. Naalala nyo dati na you have to smile lang naman muna. Okay, with your biochemistry. So ganun pa rin ang gagawin ko without reflection paper. Pero I make scores naman. Okay, ako naman ang maglalagay dun sa inyong classroom. Okay, so how about our laboratory? So our laboratory ay online class. Lahat ng laboratories ay online. So one of the students nagtanong kanina, okay, about kung bakit na ang exam ay face-to-face, then the laboratory ay online. Okay, class, kung papansinin niyo ang inyong laboratories, it is more on research. At yun ang dapat. Kasi you're under the psychology students naman kayo, class. At kung titingnan nyo, ang binigyan ng pansin is about the HRM, and then the other one, which are the IT. Kasi they are more on performance tasks. Talagang actual kasi yung klase. Pag nagtrabaho yan sila sa kanilang work, actual ang ginagawa nila. But you as a part, as a psychology students, pagdating ng panahon, you are more on research. At mas advantage yun na face-to-face kayo ng exam. Why? Kasi parang training. Alalahanin yung class are already third year. Gaano ba kahirap ang pagkukuha ng exam? This is a part of training. Na during the attacks, na pag kinakabahan ba kayo, akala nyo ba, di ba, sa psych, nakakalimutan nyo ang lahat na pinag-aralan nyo pag kinabahan kayo? Okay? But through this training, pag nakita na kayo, sanay na kami dyan. So, ibig sabihin, this is a part of growing up, class. With your laboratory, okay, so second week na tayo. Your first module, kung napapansinin niyo doon sa inyong G-class, it is about the introduction to human anatomy and physiology. So, human anatomy and physiology, dito ipapakita pa yung iba't ibang organ system sa katawan natin. Okay, so lahat ng systems sa inyong module 1, the structural organization, the anatomical terminologies, the directional terms, okay, class? So lahat dito, like for example, the superior, the inferior, naalala nyo sa inyong zoology, ang lesson natin is about the external and internal parts of the body of the milkfish. So pag sinabing external, sa labas, pag sinabing internal, sa loob. Dito, class, ay may medical terms na. So, superior, anong ibig sabihin ng superior? Yun yung laman ng inyong module 1. Anong ibig sabihin ng inferior? Posterior, anterior. Okay, so on and so forth. So here also about the structural organization of the human body, as I have said, diba, for the living organisms, the smallest unit is what we call the cell. Kasi sa non-living ay atom. Okay, pero pagdating sa cell, isa siyang living organism, which is the smallest unit of living organism. That is the reason why living ang term. Atom is not a non-living. So, kung mapapansin nyo, bakit ganon? Ang atom is the smallest unit din, but the non-living. Okay, malalaman nyo yan sa inyong PowerPoint presentation. Okay, you're in laboratory 1. So, here is about the different organ systems of the human body. So, ang gagawin nyo ng class, identifying the organ system of the human body. Dahil ito ay iba't ibang systems, ang laman ng inyong module 1. Okay, so maglalagay ako ng, like for example, the organ. So, for example, the stomach, the small intestine. Kasi before tayo, di ba, virtual naman tayo by next week. Okay, class, So, ibig sabihin, lalagyan ko kayo ng background with your laboratory. So, dapat tapos ko na yung inyong laboratory 1. Okay? So, pag sinabi siyang, like for example, the stomach, the esophagus, the small intestine, okay, the large intestine, anong part ng organ? Ito yung mga organs. Anong organ system yon? So, the organ system para dito ay ang sinasabing digestive system. And then why? Because all of these parts are part of the digestive system. So, kung paano mo pagagawin din, you have to make a research. Okay, so yun naman kasi ay parte talaga ng psych students. Okay, alam kong kayang-kaya nyo yan. Okay, how about on your week 3? So sa inyong week 3, it is about the chemical basis of life. So para siyang recalling sa inyong general chemistry. Okay, and organic chemistry. But here, class, ay hindi lamang organic chemistry, but also inorganic chemistry. So pag sinabi siyang inorganic chemistry class, without the presence of carbon. Kasi when you say carbon, under ng organic chemistry yon. So ito yung laman ng inyong chemical basis of life. Water is a part of inorganic chemistry. Salt is a part of inorganic chemistry. But biomolecules, diba naalala nyo yung inyong biomolecules, the macromolecules, they are made up of carbon. Diba, naalala nyo? Ang nucleic acids ay ang kanyang formula ay meron siyang presence of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay? Your protein ay meron siyang carbon, hydrogen, so on and so forth. All organic compounds, okay, are made up of carbon. Pag hindi na siya, wala na siyang carbon, that is under the inorganic chemistry. Okay, movement of materials and in and out of the cell. Okay, yung mga diffusion, osmosis, diba? Nagdi-diffuse from higher concentration to lower concentration. Ni-recall natin yung inyong biology. Isa parang hinalo-halo na siya. So parang ito na yung pinaka-peak. Okay, kasi you are already third year. Active and passive transport. Ano yung active? Okay, diba? If there is an effort, you are exerting effort, that is active. Napaka-active mo naman. You are full of energy. You are doing something. That is what you call active. But when you say passive transport, parang wala lang. For the presence of, for example, diffusion. Walang kahirap-hirap. Okay? Like for example, when you are climbing a tree, diba? There is what you call the active transport. So ito yung pinag-uusapan natin. And that is, I think that is sa inyong module. Okay? Kaya ano inulit ko, ni-revise ko inyong chemical basis of life. Okay. So with your laboratory, so hindi dahil ang pH kasi dito, ang scale about the base, di ba naalala niyo yung lesson niyo with your general chemistry, parang pinagawa ko to sa nag-graduate na. Okay, we used litmus paper but made up from gomamela. Okay, so gagawan ko lang kayo ng instruction. Yung nakikita niyo yung litmus paper, it is not necessarily for you na gumastos. Titingnan natin kung gagana siya, ha? Kung mag-change ang color niya. Okay? Ito ay nasa YouTube din, pero gagawa rin ako ng akin. Okay? So, pag nag-change siya, di ba, if it is acidic or basic, alkaline or acidic. Okay? So, ano yun? Yung nasa gitna, the water, pag tumaas, basic, pag bumaba, acid. Okay? That is under the pH scale. So, examining on how a substance considered as acid and base. Okay, that is the reason why na kayang-kaya natin to. At ayaw na ayaw ko sa lahat din pag nasa loob kayo ng science lab. Why? Kasi magugrupo kayo. Hindi pa ako papayag. Okay, hindi pa tayo COVID-free. Pero ang inyong exam class, kasi once lang naman yung class eh. Okay? So yun kasi part pa rin ng training. Kasi kung araw-araw tayo na, mas prone kasi kayo kasi once lang naman siya eh. Ilang months ba? Okay, 3 to 4 months. Isang beses lang kayo mag-live exam pa. Okay, at mas matindi ang competition pag ang inyong exam ay face-to-face. Okay, on the week 4, so it's about the cells. Okay, so cells ang pinag-uusapan natin, it's about the cell structure. Kung titingnan nyo sa zoology nyo, meron na kayong cell, the prokaryotes and then the eukaryotes. Dahil ang ating pinag-aaralan is about the human, we are under the eukaryotes with the presence of nucleus. Okay, cell structure and functions, membrane transport. So dito papasok ang inyong neurotransmitters, I think. Okay, so I think iba, hindi pa neurotransmitters. Okay, it's about the basta there is something na related dun sa inyong nervous system. Okay? So it's about the mitosis and then the meiosis. Ang mitosis and meiosis class, I am not perfect pagdating sa mitosis and meiosis. Magaling dyan si Sir Nudan kasi that is under talaga for 4 years ng biology. Okay, so your OBA3 is under the research analysis entitled as cell. Okay, with guiding questions dahil ito ay binigay ko na sa previous na estudyante ko, iba yung question na ibibigay ko sa inyo. Why? Kasi magka-copy-paste kayo, hindi gagana yan. Okay, hindi gagana yan class. Sinasabi ko talaga. Okay, parang kinawawa nyo lang sa inyo. Parang niloloko nyo lang for the sake of your grades. Okay, and then your laboratory, dahil yan ay cell, that is under the cellular metabolism. Okay, with your on your laboratory exercise number 3, appraising cell respiration through the use of yeast. Naalala nyo dati yung experiment mo is about the metabolic pathways. Diba na-mention ni teacher doon about the digestive system. Diba it's about the insulin and then the release of hormones in your pancreas. Diba? Basta digestive process yon. At yung inyong experiment is about kung paano magiging live yung yeast. Okay, so magiging live lang yung yeast pag nilagay mo siya sa warm water. What is the purpose of that sugar? Ang sugar kasi, di ba, it is a carbohydrate used for energy. Diba? It is used for energy. That is the reason why our experiment here is about the cellular metabolism. Okay, titingnan ko pa kung paano ko siya i-relate about the structure and then the functions. Okay, the next is the tissues. Okay, with your tissues, it's about the 4 tissues in our body, the epithelial, the connective, the muscle tissue, and then the other one is your nervous tissue. So part pa rin ng nervous system. Okay? So your tissues is a self-paced class or as may nakalagay dito online class but asynchronous. Okay, but asynchronous ibig sabihin no, hindi tayo live. Okay, so hindi tayo live. Okay, so tayo ay maglalagay lang ako ng YouTube. Okay, so hindi kayo pwede magtanong. That's the difference between your asynchronous and then your synchronous. It is not necessarily for me. Okay, it is not necessarily for me to explain about the synchronous and asynchronous. Why? The reason behind this ay hindi ko gusto. Bakit? Kasi napagdaanan nyo na to. Okay. How about in your in your laboratory? So it is about the identifying tissues. So dapat ito kay microscopic kasi ito siya class para makita niyo talaga about the tissues. But since we have a lacrimal hole here, so pwede pumasok ang virus dyan. Kasi there is a lot of carrier. Okay? How about the laboratory exercise number 4? It is about determining the 4 different human tissues. Okay, so papasok yung inyong nervous tissues, the muscle tissue, the epithelial, and then the connective. The next one ay the integumentary system. Okay, yung integumentary system, it is not only about the skin, but also meron pang accessories ang skin natin, which the hair, the nails, and then the glands. Okay, so para siya, di ba, ang inyong laboratory kasi dito is about the touch receptors. Pag meron kayo, lalo na pag crush nyo yung humawak sa inyo, may reaction yun. Okay? Because ito yung sinasabi ni teacher about the touch receptors. What happened inside our body? At konektado pa rin sa nervous system yun, which is a part of psych students. Okay? So, ang focus natin talaga ay ang nervous system. So, ito yung sinasabi kong touch receptors, the skeletal system. So, pag sinabi siyang skeletal system class, it's about the bones. Bakit kaya? Pag baby pa lang, pag newborn babies, okay, meron silang more than 300. Pero pag nag-grow na sila, kasi they fuse together kasi. So pag nag-fuse na yung, or nag-join together na yung mga small bones, ay magiging 206 bones na lang for the adult bones. Okay? So your bones are divided into axial and appendicular skeletons. Okay? Ang axial, yun yung inyong portion, which are the part, basta aside from your appendicular, yung mga extremities niyo, pag sinabing extremities, yung hands at saka yung ating legs, okay, they are called the carpals, the metacarpals, yun yung mga pag-aaralan natin with your skeletal system. Okay, tiningnan ko ito class, pero may app akong tiningnan, tiningnan ko kung anong magagawa, tapos tatanungin ko kung ano pang magagawa natin through online. Okay, so masyado siyang matrabaho talaga about the virtual discussion of the human anatomy and physiology. Okay, with your laboratory, it's about analyzing if bone. So, i-analyze nyo, given yun siya, okay, using your word bank. So, may mga word na doon na inilalagay and you have to analyze this if this bone is under the axial or appendicular. Okay, the muscular system. So, when you say the muscular system, refers to muscle. Okay, so it's about the anatomy of the different types of muscles inside our body. What are the common disorders of the muscular system? Kasi pang medical course na siya class. But take note class, kukuha kayo ng exam. So yun din ang iniisip ko na bakit ko pasyadong i-focus. Kailangan meron akong focus talaga. Kailangan magre-relate siya sa psych students. Okay. Here, your laboratory exercise number 7, which is under the muscular system, is identifying muscle contraction. Pag-aaralan ko pa to kasi pinalitan ko kasi to klase. Okay, your midterm exam. So your midterm exam, face-to-face to class ha. Sumusunod ako sa patakaran. Hindi ba nakalagay dito na live? Na ito ay face-to-face. Face-to-face kasi yun ang pinag-uusapan. So 100 items, 70 multiple choice, and 30 others. So, ang 30 na yan siguro, matching type or so on and so forth. Okay? So, ang balak ko, ang inyong exam, kasi lecture naman, sa lecture time tayo. Okay? So, meron kayong 3 hours para sa inyong lecture. I think hahatiin ko para may social distancing na papasok kung meron mang room. But that is, yun talagang gusto ko talaga. University academic break. Third year na kasi kayo, class. Okay? Kailangan nyo nang pukpukin yung sarili nyo para sa incoming exam. Diba? Para kayong, wala nang Google dun, class. Kaya hindi na kayo mag-Google. Okay? With your own thoughts na talagang gagamitin nyo. At na-excite na rin ako sa first batch na kukuha ng exam. Okay? Kasi ilang beses ko ba silang hinawakan? Parang 5 times. Na-excite na rin akong makakuha sila ng exam. So, on your 10th week is about the university academic grade. So, wala kayo dito, di ba? Pahingaan nyo to. And then, on the 11th week, the nervous system. So, ito na kayo. It's about the neurotransmitters, the nerve impulses. Di ba? Nakahati ang inyong nervous system with the central nervous system and then the peripheral nervous system. Dito papasok ang sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay? So, with your laboratory, okay, kung papansinin nyo sa inyong sa inyong G class, ay meron siyang the brain, the nerves, and its parts. Kasi ang nilagay ko sa iba about the system lang talaga. Okay? But here is that you have to identify the different structures of the CNS kasi important to sa inyo. Okay? Papalitan ko rin. Hindi ko gagayahin sa previous. Kasi ano lang kayo talaga. Magkokopyahan lang talaga kayo. Okay? Wala talagang nangyayari. The endocrine system. So the endocrine system, ito yung nag-release ng hormones released by your glands. Okay, medyo palaliman natin, di ba nakakuha na kayo sa inyong biochemistry, then meron tayong endocrine system. So the hormones. Diba? So, it is about the virtual class discussion kasi ang endocrine system, alam ko, importante rin ito sa psych students. Okay, it's about the hormones. And then, ano pa ba? Okay, the cardiovascular system, ang week 13, ito yung inyong foundation week. Okay, so titingnan natin, pwede naman na hindi magtuturo si teacher kasi nilagay ko naman dito is about the asynchronous. Okay, pwede naman siyang isama sa respiratory, pero ang cardiovascular system ay mahirap kasing sistema to. Okay, as I know, mayroon na kayong background kasi ang aking anak ay grade 9, may nakita akong cardiovascular, pero mild lang siya. Dito kasi ay medyo malalim na siya. Okay? So, parang masyado namang malayo sa psych. Kung sakali man, kung talagang edi, hayaan ko kayong mag-enjoy and then, wag nating gagawin ang inyong cardiovascular system. Yan naman ang ginagawa natin dati. Okay, cardiovascular system, investigating if exercise affects heart rate. Gusto ko sana itong ipagawa talaga sa inyo. Okay, so malayo pa naman, matagal pa naman. Okay, ano ba yon? Mag-investigate kayo kung bumibilis talaga ang heart rate nyo. Okay, so meron kayong gagawing table. Pinagawa ko to sa kanila pero ipapalitan ko lang. Tapos, ang guide question sa baba, it is about on how, why there is a presence of fast heart rate pag kayo ay gumagalaw. Okay, so para kayong quantitative research ang ginagawa niyo. So the next on the week 14, it's about the lymphatic system and then the immunity. So it's about the immune system of our body. How our body reacts. Like for example, we have already a vaccine. Why there are others na nagkakaroon pa rin ng positive sa COVID. Why? Kasi ang in-introduce naman ng vaccine is to increase our immunity, our immune system. But still, pwede tayong makalanghap or makasagap, pero meron na tayong proteksyon sa katawan natin. But take note, class, ay magiging carrier din tayo. Okay? Maging carrier din tayo pag tayo ay meron. Lalo na pag mababa ang resistance ng isang tower, wala siyang vaccination, madali siyang kakapitan. At kawawa sila. That is the reason din na napapansin nyo, hindi na talaga napupuno ang hospital ng COVID. Why? Because of this vaccine. That is how important it is, and that is under the lymphatic system and immunity. Okay? So, the week 15 is about the nutrition and digestive system. Naalala nyo sa zoology nyo, meron kayong topic about the nutrition. Ano ba yung food na kinakain nyo? Kasi this is under the digestive system. Okay? Okay, so dito natin pag-aaralin yan. Okay? Then also the urinary system is pumasok dito. Kung titinan mo ay meron siya dapat sariling anong tawag, row, pero hindi na nakakayanan. Okay? Isinilusot na lang siya sa digestive system. Okay? Your urinary system class is a waste material kasi urine, excretion, at it's not under the rectum or puwet. Okay? It is part of the urinary system through ano ba tawag doon? Basta yun ay nasa male and female reproductive system. Kung saan lumalabas ang ating urine, tapos pagdating kasi during the ejaculation or through the semen of the men, meron din silang process noon. Okay, bakit kaya pag mayroong semen na lumalabas doon sa lalaki, ay hindi naman ihi ang lumalabas. There is someone that controls it. Okay, yun ang pag-aaralan natin. So, ang inyong exercise, ang inyong laboratory exercise about locating the different digestive organs of the body. Okay, the next, ang week 16, it's about the respiratory system. Okay, bakit ko nasasabi na para siyang cardiovascular? Kasi pag tayo ay kinakapos na ng hangin, nahihirapan na kayong huminga, di ba? Pag nag-exercise kayo. So that is what you call the oxygenated blood. Kinakapos na yung human body natin ng oxygen. So it goes into your heart, going to your lungs to pick up oxygen. So here is that respiratory system. It's about the lungs. Kung saan nagpipick up ng oxygen ang ating puso para makapag-produce siya ng oxygenated blood. Okay, so the respiratory system is about the inhalation and exhalation. So yung paghinga ng malalim, paglanghap ng oxygen at paglabas ng waste material or the carbon dioxide. Okay, here with your week 17, that is under the reproductive system, which is the anatomy and physiology, kung napapansin nyo, the concepts ay the male and female reproductive system. So the reproductive hormones. Ano ba yun? The testosterone, paano mag-control, why is it important for the men, anong effect nito, so on and so forth. And then, for the estrogen and progesterone for the women, so on and so on. So that is under the reproductive system. Okay, how about with your system? Okay, so ang lecture requirements, dapat makakuha kayo ng midterm exam, final examination, your class attendance during synchronous classes. Kung napapansin nyo class, sa amin kasi is that at least 5 na virtual sa isang term. So meron tayong 8 weeks, so at least 5. So ibig sabihin, meron tayong mga 5 to 6 weeks. Okay? So meron kayong midterm examination, meron kayong final examination, the class attendance, ano pa ba? The class participation. So hindi ko alam kung ito ay gusto ko, ang class participation ay meron talaga siyang, I think gagawin ko siya sa nervous system. Okay? Ang inyong graded recitation ay gagawin ko sa nervous system. Okay? Kasi yun ay part ng psyche. Pero ibig sabihin sa finals pa pala tayo magkakaroon ng oral recitation. Okay? So, laboratory exercises. Ano lang naman ba yun? Ang class attendance during synchronous classes. Diba sabi ko sa inyo, pasundan ko ang inyong lecture. Diba? Pag nag-synchronous tayo, pag na-discuss na yung inyong module 1, pasundan ng laboratory. So, I think siguro ay mag-check ako ng attendance sa umpisa at mag-check ako ng attendance sa huli. Okay? Para yun, kasi hindi naman kayo lugi doon. Okay? Kasi hindi nyo na kailangan magkano ba magagastos nyo. Pag sa loob lang kayo ng bahay, safe pa kayo. Psych naman class. Okay? We are more on research naman talaga as in. Alam kong pinipilit namin na magiging maganda yung aming tawag dito. Basta, the most important is the lecture, 60% for your lecture and 40% for your laboratory. So, para makuha ang inyong final grade. Okay? For your, wait. Where is it? Wait. Nako, merong gitna. Okay? So, your laboratory, meron siyang 40%. Ang laboratory output ay 90%. So, ibig sabihin, sa mid ay 45, sa final ay 45. Kasi divided by 2. Attendance, 5% sa laboratory, 5% sa 5% sa final. So, 50-50. So, pag i-combine yung midterm at saka yung final term, that is equal to 100%. So, ang gagawin, i-compute ni teacher, naalala nyo yun pag may nagtatanong. So, like for example, nakakuha ka ng exam, so out of 20% sa midterm exam ay 20, ay ang nakuha mo ay 15. And then with your quizzes and then the activities, instead of sa taas. Wait, ang klasa. Here, half kasi. So, a major examination, like for example, kung 20 lang, kasi di ba, midterm and final to class, so 40-40, half yan, kalahati, 20%, nakakuha ka ng 15, edi 15 ka lang. Pag sinabing quizzes and other activities, 40%. So, 40%, 20 pa rin. Hati kasi klase. Okay, 20. So, like for example, ang activities mo, nagkamali ka at 18 lang yan. So, that is 15 plus 18. Tapos, ang attendance mo, kasi midterm and term, ihati mo sa gitna, that is 5%, 5%. 5% sa mid, 5% sa finals. And then your class participation is 5% sa mid, 5% sa finals. Okay, kaya nga ginawa kong half-half to. Okay, so hindi ko inulit ko ang inyong grading system. Okay, so midterm tayo, nakakuha ka sa midterm ng 20, nakakuha ka sa quizzes ng 20. Okay, na perfect mo siya. Attendance mo ay umabsent ka dahil may trabaho ka, pero perfect siya. So, wala kang 5%. Class participation, syempre, paano naman yun hindi ka pumasok tapos may class participation ka? So, ibig sabihin, wala kang 5-5. Kasi midterm pa lang pinag-uusapan natin class sa kalahati nito. So, meron kang 20, 20. So, 40 plus yung wala ka rito. So, meron ka lang 80. Meron ka lang 20, 20, meron ka lang 40. Okay? So, 40 yan. So, yun ang score mo. Okay? So, ang may ginagawa kami doon. But that is, I think, that is, ano bang pag-compute? 20, 20 times 2, that is 80 times 0.60. Okay? At hindi ha, class ha, 20% kasi ang nawala sa'yo. 5, 10. Wait. 10. Kasi 50, that is over kasi siya. Tignan natin ha. Wait siya. Gamitan ko lang ng calculator class. So, mangyayari kasi yan, as I have said, ang exam mo ay 20 kasi perfect. Ang iyong pieces, ang iyong activities ay 20, perfect pa rin siya. Pero wala kang class attendance. Okay? So, dapat ay 40 ka lang. So, ang gagawin namin dyan is 40 divided by 50 kasi ang total score ay dapat 50. Diba? So, meron kang 80 class. Tingnan nyo lang, 80 ka lang. Okay, this 0.8 times 100. So, that is 80 times 0.60. So, meron kang, out of 50, hindi naman siya masama. Okay, kasi meron kang 48. Okay, meron kang 48. Ang 80 na yun pala, ikuhaan pa namin ng percentage, which is equal to 48. How about when you say with your laboratory? Okay, sa inyong laboratory ay meron kayong 40%. So, ang laboratory mo, ang attendance natanggal ulit, meron ka lang 45. Okay, 48. So, 45 divided by 50 times 100 is equal to 90 times 0.40. So, 36 lang ang iyong laboratory plus 48 na nanggaling doon sa iyong lecture ay meron kang grade. Look at this. Your grade is only 84. Ganun siya katindi, ganun ang hatak sa grado. Okay? So, ganun siya katindi ang hatak. Kaysa uma-attend ka talaga at meron ka, kasi akalain nyo class, sa attendance sa mid pa lang, meron kang 0 ka sa attendance, 0 ka sa class participation, 0 ka pa rin ulit sa laboratory na 5%. Look at that. Kalay mo ang tindi ng hatak ng grado sa iyo. Okay? Paano kung perfect uma-attend ka pa kahit ano na lang, konti? Okay? So, like for example, 5 beses tayong mag-meet sa virtual at ang na-meet mo lang sa akin is 3. So, 3 divided by 5. Kasi 5 beses times 100. Okay, times 0.05. Kasi 5%. Out of 5, meron kang 3. I-plus natin yan ha. So, syempre, may class participation ka rin nun. Okay? Nakaupo ka lang, pero present ka. Meron kang score na 2 out of 5. So, meron ka 5. Plus yung 48, plus yung 40 mo. Kasi perfect yung exam, perfect yung quizzes. So, meron kang 45. 45 divided by 50 times 100. Look at this. Meron kang 90. Okay, sa 90 na yan, times 0.60, meron kang 54. Okay? Paano kung sa laboratory, out of 40 ay meron kang 36 na nakuha. So, plus 36, meron kang 90. Tingnan mo ang class ko, ano kahatak yung attendance at ang inyong class participation. Okay? So, here, yun na yung, yun na yung equivalent ng inyong grado. Okay, so on and so forth. So, yun na yun siya. So, that is the end of your syllabus. Okay, if you have any question, class, pwedeng mag-chat doon or pwede kayo magtanong sa akin with our synchronous classes. Okay, with our synchronous class this coming Monday. Sa Monday tayo mag-synchronous, hindi sa Friday, sa Monday. Sa lecture time. Tapos, may pre-test tayo, class, next week. Hindi ko pala na-discuss with your pre-test. Okay, nandiyan naman sa inyong syllabus. Wait, class.